if you can just each introduce yourselves and just let us know, you know, a brief introduction, and then also just tell us a little bit about what was your inspiration about starting your respective companies. Start with you, Monique.
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We are honored to be on this platform with so many amazing moms and moms that are tuning in. For us, our company is Sienna Sauce, and we're a condiments brand. We have 3 flavors, and we launched our company in 2017, and we've been on the Republic platform since February, like the last week of February. We launched on there. We created our sauce because at 8 years old, Tyla-Simone, favorite wing place closed down, and she tried to recreate it in the kitchen, and she came up with her original flavor, tangy. And years later, now she's 16. At 14 years old, I let her bottle it and share it with the world. So I was able to quit my job and really focus on her company full time and helping her build her brand. So that's pretty who we are. We are located in Houston, Texas. And again, we're just excited to be a part of the Republic platform, and we are honored that you guys invited us on this panel.
Thank you. Taylor and Jewel?
Yeah, first off, thanks for having us. Jewel and I are the co-founders of Juna, which is a women's wellness company. We have a cannabis line of products as well as our CBD line of products. And there were 2 reasons that we really started the company. One being Jewel and I are both mothers, entrepreneurs, and we were so overloaded by the amount of like schedule overload and stress, and you know, especially now during quarantine more than ever. You know, we joke around because we're playing all these different roles as, you know, mother, teacher, conflict negotiator between children, housekeeper, wife, chef, all these. So it's so much to balance. You know, yeah, like I said, now more than ever. And so that's really what led us to create Juna, because we felt like there was this need for some relief and balance to all these everyday stressors. So that was one of the things that led us to create it. And Jewel, I'll let you also tell your story. I'm the marketing side of Juna, and Jewel's more the formulator, so I'll let her tell her side too.
Thanks, that was great. Thanks for having us. It's such an honor to be here with everyone. Taylor summed it up. Juna is a wellness brand based in California, and we develop some of the most effective and sustainable products for our modern world, specifically to optimize mind, body, mood, and sleep. So like Taylor said, to help with the everyday sensory overload. And yeah, I mean, really, for me, my background is as a chef and sommelier, and I was working with different plant actives and extracting the naturally occurring mood enhancers from the cacao bean before I got into the hemp and the cannabis plant, and always looking for alternative ways to optimize besides, you know, quick fix pharmaceuticals. And when I found the compound CBD, I was pretty sure it could save every mother and CEO in the world. It was non-psychoactive, and it could help with all the things that we needed. And knowing that I also needed that in my life, it led to the creation of Juna, which has been an amazing journey and experience.
Love it.
Thank you. Jen?
Hi, I'm Jen Edmon, and I'm founder and CEO of Yvette Hollow. It's a wedding marketplace in the fintech, also part of the industry. I started this, I was a wedding planner and floral designer here in the Bay Area for almost 10 years. I ran my own small business and really saw a big shift in the market with millennials and Gen Z, people getting married. It shifted. And the way that weddings have been being done for decades have not changed. It's been the same. You Google it, you look at Yelp reviews, you ask everyone a million questions, and I, as a wedding planner, would just have to give everyone options, and then they'd still have to kind of go fly blind. And they had guidance, but what these users really wanted, this market, was that they wanted transparency, they wanted to understand it, they wanted to know where their money was going. So we've created a marketplace where you can easily shop vendor services and be able to purchase it online and finance your entire wedding. And so I really felt drawn to help our vendors and also consumers be able to understand what they were getting themselves into from the very beginning. Instead of 6 months into planning, they're spending way more money than they intended. So wanted to get couples starting off on the right foot and not in debt, and to something that they understood in. And me being a mom and having 3 kids, and I wanted to see where that was actually, you know, how we could actually provide change in such a big industry that also felt so untouched and antiquated. I wanted to modernize it. So that's where we're at.
I love it. Yeah, no. And so you guys are coming from very different industries, but my next question, and anyone can answer this, is more about like, what were you dealing with family life when you started? And then if so, like, what has the balance been like in just, you know, working at home, working, you know, away, and even also maybe starting with maybe Monique and Tyla about like, how has even been working together been like? How do you separate family with business?
So that is a great question. So again, like I said in my introduction, I actually did leave my job. So we worked full time for out of our home for a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
So she's homeschooled. So there was really never too much separation. So we really had to find time and schedule mother-daughter time.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard when you run a business together to not always revert back to what's happening. So even something as simple as like 10 o'clock last night, she came in my bedroom and she wanted to have a business meeting. I'm like, you're not on my schedule right now. Like, we're not doing that.
Please look at my Calendly. Thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's very important to really prioritize when you know what the goal of your day is, to really prioritize that. And for us, because we work differently, like I'm up every morning in the backyard meditating, doing my social media. Like I have a schedule, and then she's up doing her homework, and then we come together for business. And then in between, you know, we'll have mommy and daughter time. But it's challenging to be consistent as a mother and then also a business partner, because you don't want one to outweigh the other. So you want your mother role to be, of course, more significant than a business partner to your child. So that's one of the challenges that we have. But I think we've been doing well, especially in this quarantine. Someone asked me last night, are you guys tired of each other yet? And I was like, actually, no, we're not. Like, we're good. Because
I mean, I've hung out with her. I mean, I've been with her for like the past 16 years. So I mean, being stuck with her in the house.
Are you being paid to say this though?
I mean, being in the house for the past month and a half hasn't been bad, because it's kind of like I kind of have like my own 3-bedroom apartment upstairs. You know,
that's like Houston space though. In New York, you would have none of that where I'm from.
Yeah, like I come downstairs to get some food from the kitchen, and then I just go back upstairs. You know?
I know someone asked me and they said, how's you guys' relationship? I was like, oh, we congregate in the common areas. Like
than everything else.
I mean, it's definitely interesting. I mean, this quarantine for us really didn't transition our business too much. It allowed us to see that we had some things that we can modify with being quarantined, but she was already homeschooled. So the transition of school, none of that stuff really affected us. So for us, it hasn't been, you know.
Because I've been really independent with like my schoolwork and stuff like that. So I'm not like.
And keep doing that for sure.
I think it's kind of like harder for moms with like smaller kids that kind of probably just want to play.
And that's what I was going to tell right now. Taylor, I know you just have a newborn, so maybe on that side you can talk a little bit about how has that been like transitioning to like with a company before and then after giving birth.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. Not gonna lie. So I have a 9-week-old at home, and you know, through the past 11 months, from being pregnant through the process to now being a new mother who's also in quarantine, it's been a ride. And you know, I think it's so much more clear to me, you know, now more than ever, why we started this company is to help women that are going through these struggles and that are feeling what I'm probably feeling right now, which is, trying to find the balance within the day. And also getting sleep at night. So it's been a wild ride, but I'd say, it's so great. And, really what I'm trying to do is keep some amount of normalcy within my day. So trying to take daily walks, and, find, time to do some self-care, and it's nice. Jewel and I are both mothers, so we are on Zoom calls like this, I feel like almost every day, but it's so nice that we're both in the same boat, so we understand, like, kids having a meltdown in the background, take five, which is so nice to have a partner where we're both going through that. But it's also been able, I feel like, I've been able to get a lot done even in the middle of the night while breastfeeding. I can, answer emails, and you do what you can to get through it and stay on top of everything. So it's been a fun experience, and an eye-opening one, to say the least. And I feel like now more than ever too, I'm able to relate to our customer and what they're going through. So it's been amazing in that sense.
The professional clarity, but also personal growth in that sense. So I love that. And then maybe Jen, for the next question here is, can you share any practical tips you use to get organized? Because I know you have this whole event planning thing, and you maybe are a planner, so maybe that's how you kind of keep things organized between family and business.
Sure. Well, I started this business after my youngest was born. She was about 1.5 years old when I really started working on this. She's 4 now, and I started to really focus my time and energy into this. But I had my other wedding planning and design business where, people book a year ahead. And so I had to finish off my next year as well. So that was a crazy time because I had both companies. I was trying to build one and end one, and then had my kids. They were at the time like 18 months, 2.5 and 3.5.
Wow.
So it was that I feel like I look back and that was like a fog.
Did you do all that? I was gonna say, like, how did you do all that yourself?
Well, the trick for me was I couldn't do it alone. There was absolutely no way I was going to do it alone and then survive and have my kids be happy. And everything was getting a part of me. So I did that alone for a while. I have my husband, he's a police officer. So, he's got a very busy schedule. It's completely opposite. He works nights, so he's not, present during the day to help out with any of this stuff. So I had to get an au pair, and that was actually how we were able to do any of this. And so we went through several, but au pairs, which are these, typically younger women in like early 20s or late teens, and they'd come and just help me. And that was how I could do a meeting like this. And the chaos would be going on outside the door, but knowing that no one was gonna die because they were being cared for. Because being that young, little kids are on a mission to kill themselves at all times. And also they fight like ridiculous. And they're that close. It's so they're all actually considered Irish twins. So they're all barely 12 months apart.
Yeah.
And so it was madness. And so now it's now they're at a time where, the 4, 5, and 6, it's they are either worst enemies or best friends. And it's just they're great. And then for 50% of the time, I don't have to worry about them. And they're not trying to kill themselves all the time now. They can go pop in a Pop-Tart and take care of themselves in the morning while I work. But then you'll hear someone smack the other one, and then it's game over.
Oh, hell. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. But so really I just use I have help now. That's what it is. It's not everyone can do it by themselves. No one can really especially with 3 of them, you can't do it by yourself. And so there is help going on behind closed doors with people that seem to have it all together. And so I think there's got to be a story as to why someone might seem like a superhero. So if you're always holding yourself as to compare yourself to another person, it's I'm lucky enough that I do have help, and there's no possible human way that I could do this completely alone.
No, and I agree. And also just always asking for help when you need it the most. And I think it's important. So, I mean, if anybody else has any major tips of how they manage, whether or not maybe you have a Trello board, I don't know, maybe you have sticky notes all around, I don't know, anybody else has any like practical tips you want to share on that side? Otherwise, I'll go to the next question.
Yeah, no, you said Trello board. I'm a big fan of Scrum board. So similar, it's the same thing. I use the Post-its, and I really have to map out, you know, I do it quarterly, monthly, and then every Monday, like map out what my projects are for the week, and make sure that I'm setting the right expectations, you know, knowing, you know, how many meetings I have going on that week, not trying to overload myself with projects that I won't get to. So I break everything down into projects that can be accomplished that week for the time that I have to put towards it. So that's been really helpful for me. It's also necessary. I'm the type of person that needs to feel like I'm moving forward and finishing things. So at the end of the week, when I see all the projects that I actually have completed, then I reward myself with a glass of wine and have a nice week. So I think, I think that's the important part too, is, you know, feeling a sense of like, okay, accomplishment.
And that segues very much into the next question, which was submitted, I think, several times. So I kind of succinct it in one question. And so if we could start with Jewel and then go down the line. But can you tell us about the first time you felt the feeling of success, whether it was personally or professionally?
Good question.
In regards to this current business or in general? I'm guessing in regard to this
context of motherhood, like, right? Like in terms of like, you know, while being a mother and like doing all this stuff, like, can you feel the first time you felt this feeling?
Yeah.
Maybe someone else wants to also say this. I mean, totally up to you.
I mean, there's been so many times, but generally there's a common denominator, and that's when they've reiterated something that I've taught them. So, you know, like when my 5-year-old is, you know, coming home from school and saying like, my teacher has a rash on his arm and I told him he really needs to text you about CBD. Like that to me is like, she gets it. Like she's very much.
Start them early, brand ambassador right here. Okay, that's a good
I think like for me that felt very successful, because it's like, wow, if she's 5 and if she's picked up on how helpful CBD is for all these things, then I'm very clearly being able to articulate my message. So I think that's, you know, something that feels really successful. Or when I'm chatting, I mean, we never, there's no boundaries in my home, I feel like, for better or for worse, between work and business, pre-COVID even. And I'm constantly talking with my husband, or Taylor and I are on the phone. And other moments of, you know, when it really feels successful is when my 14-year-old will chime in and she'll say something like, I don't think that's how people think about purchasing CBD or purchasing cannabis. And it's like, wow, like you're really paying, like you really care about what I'm doing. And that feels successful, you know, that you care enough to listen and then give your feedback.
Awesome. Jen?
Yeah, you know, moms experience a lot of mom guilt, I think, especially being a working mom. And it was really hard for me to take that leap and accept help into my home. It was something I swore I would never do. And then I did. But that actually provided my family the structure that it's so desperately needed in order to thrive. And so once we took that leap and fell into a routine, then I started to really see a shift in my own kids, that for one, I could be more present when I completed work and I could finish that and then leave it and then be with my children and not be stressed and thinking about everything. And so I started to feel really successful when I could be with my kids and then they're not asking like, Mom, are you working? Those questions ended. And now they are more focused on actually just spending time with me. So I think once we implemented that, then we were able to really, like, you know, make strides as a family. And so I think that was really important for us and felt like a success.
Cool. I mean, Taylor, I know you briefly touched on this, so I don't know if you have anything else to add on that side.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say that, you know, sometimes being a business owner, an entrepreneur, you can, it can start to weigh on you, you know, when you deal with rejection, or, you know, when ad campaign doesn't work, or if you have a bad day of sales or whatever it may be. And so I think the most important advice and thing that I try to do and bring into our company is to celebrate the little wins and the little successes as much as possible. So, you know, just earlier today, I was looking at our Republic campaign and it was up another $20,000. And I was like, oh my God, Jewel, this is amazing. And, you know, so even though we're a ways out from hitting what our big goal is, and hopefully getting to 750K or $1 million, we're still celebrating the little wins. And I think that's important to stay positive and, you know, not just focus on those big successes, but the little ones within every day.
Got it. And then Monique and Tyla, I don't know. So the question again is, can you tell us about the first time you felt the feeling success personally and professionally? And then you can take it anywhere.
I think success is, in my opinion, it's just such a cliche word because there's so many levels of it that, you know, because from the outside looking in, people may feel that we are successful already, but from a personal standpoint, we have our own, I have my own personal goals that I want to accomplish as a mom being successful and as a business owner. So for me, I think I feel successful now because when I can leave a room where we're in a business environment or at a networking event and we can separate and
tag team,
and people walk back up to me and they'll say, your daughter is like, she's on it. Like she knows her business and she's spot on. Like, for me, I'm like, that's a successful moment for me. I feel like I'm grooming her into the young CEO that she is, where she knows the difference in business and personal, and she knows how to balance, even though she's so young, like she's taken on such a huge responsibility. So as a mother, I feel like that's been a weight lifted. And you know, success, the one thing you want for your kids, all of us, is for our kids to have some type of success. And I don't mean monetary success, I mean just in terms of being a successful individual between their morals, respect, and things of that nature. And then from a personal standpoint, I'm still working on my own personal successes. I feel like every day I'm challenged with myself. I speak to my project manager and my business coach about staying on track because, you know, as entrepreneurs, you have so many amazing ideas and you want to launch all of these ideas, but you have to really strategically think about what's beneficial for your business, especially in this time when every dollar is really important. So it's funny you say that about the Republic campaign because we go to sleep at night and we'll wake up and be like, oh, the Republic campaign is going to be up $500 in the morning when we get up. Like we, you know, we're excited that, you know, fingers crossed that, you know, people are still believing and investing in companies at this time. So I'm just grateful. So for us, you know, I feel like that's a great success.
I feel like for me, being so young in my field, in my industry, I feel like that. I feel
just woke up.
At times, I feel like I can't, like I seek for recognition, and that is kind of like an idea of success, just recognition from like other people. But through this, I've had to learn that like not everybody's always going to understand what you're doing or why you're doing it. You know, I mean, I could figure that all of you guys can relate to that. And, you know, even like with my mom and her leaving her job to help me, that's kind of like foreign. Like I'm supposed to go like help my mom's company when I get older. So I feel like just me and her being able to work together and build a family legacy day by day has been like a success in its own. And like what you said with the Republic platform, waking up today and we hit $40,000 today. It's been a great day, and I just can't wait to what we do tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you guys are all killing it. So congratulations on that front.